Good morning, Tim. Nice to meet
Good
you
morning,
on
Arnold.
this occasion.
Nice to see you as well, sir.
Okay. I heard you're interested to see more of our contract lifecycle management app, and
Indeed.
maybe it's good that you give a brief introduction why you're interested, and I will
O-
continue giving an introduction about myself.
Okay. Haven Solutions provide Office 365 SharePoint solutions to the AEC market. AEC, architecture, engineering, construction, use contracts all the time. And contracts are a key part of a whole business process. So this for us is to look at it from that side, and then for other clients in other sectors as well, but AEC is our main focus.
Okay. Well, my introduction is my name is Andres Solomons. I'm the owner of the company called Smart SharePoint Solutions, and we have a product called Financial Suite, which is a registered trademark, and we provide SharePoint business apps. And one of the business apps is what you see here is the Contract Lifecycle Management app, and the subjects we're going to discuss today in this session is go through all the screens of the application and see what can be beneficial to you. And once we have gone through the apps, we have some time to have questions raised and answered, etc.
Okay.
Okay, this is the entry screen where every company that uses the contract register is provided with this information, and this is the vital information that a company needs when it manages the contracts. So what you want to see is, where do I need to take action? So this is the right place to be. You log into your contract lifecycle app, and this is where you go first. So I have two actions to take, and I see the expiration date and I see the action date. The action date is derived picking the expiration date minus the notice period, I should say, from the contract, and a warning period that is by default 45 days, but which is easy amendable by the user of the system. You can follow up the items, and this is the list of follow-up items, and I can directly see which action I have to take, and if there are other people that have to take actions, it is displayed too. I can sort per contract partner, and I can see the way that I can sort on any kind of action. I have at hand a status report of the pending contracts, because before it's a final contract that is signed by all parties, there is a predecessing period where you can add all the information of the contract already into your system to monitor it. I can see if I have master agreements with child contracts, so to speak, parent and child contracts. I see here the parent contracts, and I have a button to display the child contracts, and they are listed here. This is, for instance, a lease contract where I have the opportunity to connect all lease cars to this master agreement. This is a nice option to have because it shows all my contracts, and then it's filtering all my contracts, and I have nothing to do with all my colleagues that are monitoring contracts. I can sort it on contract partner if I would like. It's only clicking, and then I have 5 contracts here. I can see the status. It's here displayed in a pie chart, and I can drill down for the other contracts to see which contracts are really in the pie. So the active contracts, 56%, is represented by these contracts. Do you have any questions so far, Tim?
No, I get it as it stands, and these are all individual to you, aren't they? So these are the ones that are assigned to you. So this is effectively your dashboard, yeah?
No, this is the status of all contracts. Here you can see
All contracts,
assigned
okay.
to Joel, who is in fact our legal person in this company.
Okay, sorry. Yep,
Yeah,
I understand now.
Okay, and I can see expired contracts, etc. So let me first give you a glance of how the management of the contracts that are in the system are monitored before I go adding a new contract and go with through all the metadata. It allows me to connect contracts to projects, and I can select and filter it here, and I can see it per country or any other sorting that I would want. I can place in this area. One thing that makes our contract lifecycle management tool unique is that it has a display of showing the contracts in a financial way. This is the way financials look at their balance sheet and their P&L account, and instead of having the information of all the financial data, if I click on overdrafts, I see my contracts for the overdrafts. And if I click on contingencies, I see all the contracts that have a natural connection with the contingencies. And so gross margin, there is a sales contract. Of course, financials are not the only ones that look at contracts. So for the die-hard legal persons, we can simply filter them as a type of contract and present all the information that they would like to see. We've been asked in the past to present a special partner where the company would see all the contracts per contract partner, and so it's in a natural way, and you can see it here. You can see the financial impact and the value, you can see the currency, the expiration date, etc. This is what financials would like to see. That are the contingencies, and preferably they would like to see the contingencies per year. And if you would say, well, I get this on my annual report because it's on IAS, International Accounting Standards, that you need to present all the contingencies in your annual report. The system provides an opportunity to show all the contracts presented per year.
Okay, Andre, on this, is that financial year or is that calendar year, or can you set it?
This is the financial year, and okay. Calendar year and financial year are the same here.
Okay.
So if I said financial, it's the calendar year. Yeah, so there's no doubt about that's a calendar year because the data is filled by legal people and they have nothing to do with any financial year at all.
Okay.
Yeah, but as we've seen in the contingent liabilities, there was only one contract for 2014, or in fact two, and this table is presenting all the contracts that have an expiration date in the years after 2014. So this is another dimension to have a better look at the contingencies than you had before. Because if I would have an agreement, a marketing agreement with liabilities for over 10 years with a value of, let's say, 20 million, it would definitely be a contingency. Yeah, although the marketing agreement on its own is not a contingency agreement. And this gives the extra dimension to what stuff you need to contain in your annual report. We treat insurances as a contract as well. So we have that in the system, and we can sort it by insurance broker and present everything that is associated with the insurance. So it gives me the expiration date, the duration in days, the contract status, and everything you'd like to know about an insurance. Of course, there are contracts like you have loan agreements and insurances that take more than 1 year. Yeah, so if it is a closed contract, or if it has been set and signed, you can see here the impact per year, and you can take that into account when you have a closer look at your P&L account. Of course, it provides all contracts, and then you can sort for each and every column that you want. Here you see the parent and child contracts. So this is a parent contract, and it shows here it's the ID number 7, and the contract number here is 7.1, 7.2. And here you can see the parent contract from another direction. You can filter on all these fields that are available, and this is a very detailed environment, so you can select anything what you want to filter it. Even here, a notice period. This is a notice period of a year, this is a half year, and everything what you have. Here you can see. Yeah.
Sorry, Andre. Is this all the data that's kept with each contract, or are there more fields to this, or is this everything?
I think this is close to everything, but I guess no, it's not everything, because we have 47 fields of metadata. Yeah, and this is the most important part of the filtering you usually have. Of course, when you have contracts, you always have contracts for eyes only, and then you can have it here to display the confidential reports, and of course you can manage the permissions to set it the way you want it. There is always a need for people that work with contracts to see the expired contracts. Once in a while you have a contract that you say, well, hang on, I have had a contract like this one before. And then you can have a look at the expired contracts if you can't find them in the running contracts or the open contracts. So these are the contracts you can view on the notepad, and I will show you the notepad further on. And we allow organizations to have many data structured as they want it themselves. We have provided by default a list of 75 denominated contracts, and we have shown the association with the financial categories. If you introduce it at a company, you will tailor this or customize this for the company, because if you were in a construction company, you will have different kind of contracts than you have here. You always have to start building your third-party list, because then you connect the contract that you introduce with the contract party. There is a list of standard insurances. While the car insurance must be very familiar to you when you have a lot of construction companies. You can add projects. You can have your action types. These are connected with the follow-up actions, and you can have a table for the languages that are most commonly used. So far the information about how you can see the contracts, and that's the find without search, because we have used the most common way that companies tend to look for contracts, and they are built in the navigation, like in this column. So I would like to ask you, do you have questions about the management information that is presented in this structure and that we've seen here?
No, what I'd say is that it's very clear, and I understand your rationale for the menu on the left-hand side, offering that the most common articles by, or most common actions by type and by user, which should make it very easy for people to find what they want. I like that. Very good.
That's exactly
what very comprehensive.
Sorry?
Yeah. It's very comprehensive.
Yeah, that's the feedback that we got from our customers as well. By the way, in due course, Microsoft will release on their Microsoft reference site a business case of the contract lifecycle app with one of our customers, which is a European holding for an American company.
Okay.
So, yeah.
No, I'll let you go on. So I've just taken that down. Okay, thanks.
Okay. I would like to show you now how the contract is introduced. At the right hand side you see an alphabetical order of what you've just seen in the master data, the table where it's maintained. And if I go to a new contract, and I will pick this contract to go through the metadata.
So the metadata is the data that describes the document, yeah?
Sorry?
The metadata is the data that describes the document.
Yeah, the information added to the document.
Okay.
This is based on a SharePoint list, because the list allows me to get very many sorts of data and attach a file. If I would have many versions of a contract in its life cycle, the metadata will be unchanged. So I can simply add a new contract or a new version of the contract or an update or whatever to the original metadata. So I can give it a title, I can give it a contract name number if I would like. Yeah, if the company uses a contract number, you can use the old contract number, but for this moment we use it to have a unique number for the parent and child information. We've seen in the master data that we have a table of projects, and here I can choose for merger, which I don't at the moment. I can select a parent contract, and the parent contract is giving a number starting with a P. Yeah, so I simply have to scroll to the P, and in later versions we will change the method, but for the moment this works quite well. I can connect this contract to an agreement type. Yeah, as you've seen on the right hand side. Most companies that we have sold this solution to have a filing cabinet with many shelves, many contracts, and they would like to know where they can find it. Yeah, so here's the place that you can add it. In normal life, when you manage a contract, you frequently have discussions with your counterparty or any person at all that is involved in a contract, and you simply open the screen and you make a little note of it, and the message is added to this field, and you can look it up. So it's the history that gives you all the information. Instead of the yellow sticky paper, you use this. You have an internal client. It's my contract. In this case, it's assigned to me. The list of contract partners, the region, and well, this is very common. Any company in the world you can select. The language of the contract from the table. So if you apparently have a contract which is in Polish, for instance, you first need to add the language Polish to the master data, and then you can select it. Contract status, in this case it's an expired one. The action taken in the notice period, the contract was terminated. You can give information if it's related to another contract. For instance, The second term of a rental agreement can be introduced, that you say, well, it's related to contract blah 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 of the rental period, etc. You can attach a contract, and I mentioned that you can start introducing information once the first discussions have been taken place. Then you add all the metadata to this list and you say there's no contract, and all the versions and all states you can add here. Here you can add if it's confidential, and if you click on this box it will go to the navigation here, confidential, and then you can set the permissions. You can select currency, you can add a value, and if you have a long-term contract it explains here how you are meant to add the information about the value. The contract term, you can introduce an automatic renewal period. We've seen in the navigation recurring cost. Here you can select if it's cost or income. The basis for the recurring cost, if you have a loan of 1 million, you can say, well, I have 5% interest, and it will calculate the 5% on an annual basis and will show it in the navigation under recurring. These are natural fields for dates. Here you have the notice period and the warning period that you can change. You can both change them. If it's an insurance, you can select from the table from the master data. You can add the insurance details, so which object is insured and where it's located. You can add the insurance premium, the policy number, the insurance broker, and in the follow-up you can have the variable fields that you can address, which are very straightforward as well for the actions. And this is to safeguard all the information, that you can quickly see what is the change in this version of the contract. So at the bottom it is shown version 3.0, and indeed I see 3 reasons why it has been updated. So I have the full history of the contract at hand, and I can simply manage it. So that's all what I would like to show about the Contract Lifecycle Management app. Do you have any remaining questions, Tim?
That's quite a lot of data. It's normally filled out by whom at the beginning? Who would normally take responsibility for this? I mean, obviously the person, but would it be legal or would it be the commercial guys?
We have sold in many companies. We have seen situations that people from the purchase department complete the information. We have seen information that the company secretary completes it. Another situation that the legal counsel completes it, or a paralegal. In other situations is the finance person who handles all the contracts. So it's up to the company to make that choice. Okay. And it's very easy, so they do it in a natural way. You have to give them a little training, a little workshop of a couple of hours, and afterwards they can check it with the videos that we have on our site.
Okay. Okay.
Any questions left?
Not on that part. Now you've got the data in there. What happens next? How do they manage it on a day? So you've got the actions there. How do you set actions?
The actions are completely automatically transferred to the action required page. Okay, so if you need to take
sorry, Andre. Everything you put into the main contract page gets reflected in the rest of the system.
Yeah, and you can
where it's all held. Yeah.
Correct, and see it like a spreadsheet. If you change something in one field, it is displayed in another field, and this is exactly the same. We have built a type of cube where you can see from all different angles your favorite way to see your contract.
Okay, and so okay, the next question then is about, is this done by office or by company or by region? Can you split it by multiple offices? How does the structure work within a corporation?
In the corporations, we have seen different situations. If you are talking about a holding company, we have catered for a situation that each company has its own contract register, and we can provide all the information on a contracts area where legal persons from the holding can have access to all the contracts in a company. We have seen situations where departments are so large. In the example of the purchase contracts register, there was one register for legal and there was one for purchasing. The sales situation we seldom see, because we advise companies to have their sales contracts in their primary system, like SAP or Oracle Financials or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But if they have a master agreement that they say, well, we have an annual agreement, yeah, some systems do not cater for these type of contracts, and then you can maintain them in this system.
Okay. Okay. And the next thing is about, where is it held? So is it hosted? Is it on your own servers? Is it in the cloud? Or can you be all three?
Yeah, it's available in SharePoint Online, and it's available on premises. Whatever the choice of the company is, it's working on all platforms, even on the 2013 version, because it's a sandbox solution. And that's very favorable for large companies, because they only allow sandbox solutions if it's a third-party solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And the setup time, Andre, how long does it take to set up one of these systems?
Per company, I would guess it's 10 minutes. So you just simply multiply your number of companies times 10 minutes.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, the only thing, only thing that is excluded is the permissions and in a way that you connect people to the SharePoint groups.
Right.
Because that has to be done locally, and you have to set that up very carefully, because you don't want to have your trainee seeing all the board's contracts, as an example.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And then the big question is, how much is it?
It's for starters, if you have it for a single company, it's 7.5 K euros, so 7,500 euros per entity. But if you speak about 20 or 10, we can sit with the company, or you sit with the company, and we discuss a fair price for that company. Because for us, it's one of our products, and if they buy more products of our financial suite, there's always a better deal for the company. So
yeah, that obviously makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, we always intend to make the best deal for the company, and for us, of course, and for our salespeople.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've sold it to quite a few people now. Have you got any good case studies of someone who's saved some money off of this, or got more efficient because of using it?
Yes, that's on our site. You can click on financialsuite.net for the English version and go to customer stories, references, and read about Picture Group. And Picture Group is a global company which is represented in 20 countries with 40 offices and plants. And most recently they bought a contract lifecycle management tool for Asia. And there they have the Philippines and Hong Kong and China all in an application that runs their contract.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's it for my questions, Andre. Very good.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. And yeah, maybe we speak to each other about a contract register in the future.
Oh, God,
So,
yes.
bye
Oh, yes.
for now.
Thank you very much, Andre.
You too, Tim.